Obviously, we're not working on Bletchley today, but I just think it looks better to start the video. It's the nearest kind of place where we are, and I think it looks better. So I thought, we'll just have a nice overview of Bletchley and the MK Dons Stadium and a little bit of shopping and the railway. I think it's the Marston Vale line and the West Coast Main Line. I think it just looks nice. Anyway, it's another build one. It's another little bit of filler because we've got to just keep going until I get things done. Hello. Welcome back to the UK Inspired Rail Network, where today we're going to actually do something a little bit different. And I decided I was going to share, just laying out the tracks anyway, at the Bicester Depot West Junction. And I didn't realise this is the Bicester Military Railway. This should be pretty cool, right? I think. I tried to zoom in on Google Maps and I tried to have a look and see what was actually parked up there. There's a lot of sort of flatbeds there. Is it still somewhere where we would see sort of some military style trains parked up, or is it just a load of flatbeds and the occasional bit of freight? Because I couldn't really see much looking at it. We've got like a barracks, and then we've got like military railway, and we've got like another sort of quite sort of wormy area at the back. I'm going to stick a bit of Google Maps in at some of these zoomed in sort of shots of what we've got. It almost looks like one of the bits in the back almost looks like it's a model railway. It's quite interesting. And then it goes, and it loops all the way around, which is really interesting. It actually does a complete loop, I think, of the facility. I think that's what it looks like to me anyway. But we're going to get the basics in today anyway, at least. And then, I'll go through and detail this up. And I'll make a decision of what we could actually use it for, I think, at a later date. But I wanted to get it in. I particularly want to get in the sort of the sidings area here, as we can hear a plane going overhead. So I keep losing my bearings. That's a bridge. So that can... Okay, so that's fine. So I was going to say first things first, I need to put in a bridge here, but I don't actually have to do that, which is good because that would have been quite annoying. So we're going to go a little bit further down. I'm going to Alt G, and we're going to start off with sort of where the access point is off the railway. I'm going to stick with high speed here, I think, or should we go wood just to show a little bit difference in the line? Let's go. You know what? Let's go wood. This is really interesting, actually. This is quite a long and detailed thing, so I'm going to back it up as much as I can, and then we'll put the railway there. Let's go wood. Let's make it look different. Wood standard is all I want here. Wood standard, please. Standard tracks. Right, so we're going to put that there. Actually, I'm going to do this. I was looking at this on Google Maps, but I've decided to change my mind. I've decided to go with the open rail approach. So we're going to have that there like that. Nice. And I'm assuming there's a switch before the station. No? There is not a switch before the station. That's because there's a switch after the station, which we put in, didn't we? No, we didn't. We didn't put that switch in. Yes, we did. Did we? No, we didn't. I might have changed this a little bit, but we're going to slip in a switch there. Because there is a switch after the station, not before it. So this morning, I started watching Deep Space Nine again. And I was watching it while eating some cereal. And it's still on next to me. Well, behind me. Right. We're going to do that for that. And then... Right, we're going to have to make this a little bit longer for us, because otherwise this isn't going to work. We're going to go like that. And I'm going to bend this around here like that. Right, this junction is a lot bigger. Oh, it's trying to build a bridge, so it's going a bit crazy. This junction is a lot bigger. In real life, if you took a look at this, this all goes straighter for longer. My problem is I need to get down to here, so I've had to bend it away. So we're going to sort of be a little bit creative with this. In fact, we're going to shorten it a little bit more. I'm going to do this. And this. And then I'm going to do this. Should I do it like that? Shall I do it like that? No, that's not what I need. No, what I should have done is left that there. And actually done that. That's better. That's a better idea. We'll have it like that, even though it's closer and they just spin off together, but we're going to have it like that. And then we want a little bit of space here. Wait for the autosave. And that, we'll pull that there, and then we'll... No, I don't want you in there. No. That's fine. Oh, actually, I do want you about there, but then I want you about there. Yeah, nice. And then we'll have some freight sidings here. What can we slide in here, do you think? 280? Yes. That's going to be tight on that angle there, though. So what I've got to do is this has got to curve into this at some point. So this is what I'm going to go with. Obviously, I've got to change it to standard tracks. But because I've got... like, if I had more space and everything was a little bit long straighter, I'd do it literally exactly the same. I've got to get a little bit sort of creative, I guess. Could you call it creative? Am I being creative? I guess I am. Why can't I find standard tracks? No, I don't want one with a tunnel. I just want... The problem is, when you got so many mods, you end up not being able to find standard track. No catenary. And I don't want these... They don't need to have any track connections. We do that. Then we delete this. We pop those in. Oh, that's not very nice. No, it's not nice. Not very nice at all. That's really nice, that. Maybe we can stretch that down more. That's better. Still not a big fan of it turning away that way, though. And then we could just put this little tail out here. What I call a tail, anyway. Why is that all wonky? Why is that not straight? Let's just freehand this. Let's do about there. Yeah, it's nice. That's nice. We'll have that like that. And then this will come all the way down to about there. Keep you on the level. And straight. Straight. My best bet is to do this with this. So they all come together and then it comes back out again. Which I find really, really interesting. And then that comes out and then this comes... So then this does this. And then this. There's more space in real life between those, but that's this. That's basically what it does. And I guess it allows them to, you know, go backwards and forwards. What's that there? Don't know what that is. Don't know why I'm telling you what that is, because you can't see what I'm looking at. But there's a weird... I need to look at what that means. Owner change. That's what it means. Sorry, there was a little thing on the open rail. And I wasn't sure what it was. And then I just looked at the little bit on the open rail map on the left, and it's the sign for owner change. So we're going to get a little bit again. This gets hella crazy. All right, we're going to wrap that there. All the way around to about there. Bosh. And we're going to extend this a little bit more. So we're going to have, well, we're actually going to have 3 sets of sidings here. So I want that there. I want track gap 1. So we're going to do first set here. I'm going to have to name all of these, aren't I? First set here, and then second set is going to be along here. Let's have a look. Let's back this up to there. Add a little bit of that, and then out. Sorry, this is going to be a lot of me going there, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. This is going to have 7. Track out 7 with no gap. There, please. And then you come literally... You literally do that, don't you? Right up to that. You can go into there. Lovely. It butts right into there, but then we do have after here is a little switcheroo. We're gonna level out this ground a little bit because it's getting a bit annoying. Right, we're nearly sort of on this first bit done. And I'm going to show you the wiggly worm a bit after this as well. That's a bit crazy. A bit wild, that piece as well. So on this outside bit... Yeah, this goes around there as well. Dude, this is very wormy. It's very wormy. Okay, and then on the other side of this... About there, should we put it? On the other side of this, we've obviously got more. We've got more going on. Right, let's delete some assets. So many bits of railway. Just, it's crazy. There's going to be a lot of to-ing and fro-ing and backwards and forwarding with this railway, by the way. I can go further back, actually. So there's 5... Back here, 5, and go there. Nice. That just dead ends that side. Right, this is where it gets interesting. So they all, apart from these, right? I know. I'm sorry, by the way. I know this is like the. Okay, so I see what happens here. So you guys bring you out. Then that goes to 1. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Right, I've just got to get these all into this single piece of track here. I think that's what I've got to do. So you can see why I do a lot of this on my own, right? Because I kind of just go... I kind of just, you know, do nothing. I kind of just stop talking. Okay, and these... Yeah, that's a whole separate bit there. That's a whole separate bit. That's fine. Don't need to worry about that, Julie. Just get these in. Get these in. Get these in. Get all these in. This is wild. I think there's so much in this. There we go. And then I can just whack that in there. I'm not going to lie to you. These are just me sticking them in now. I have no idea where they're going. But I wanted to give you guys... I guess I wanted to give you guys an idea of how I sort of do this off... Like how much I use, obviously, OpenRail, Google Maps, and how much I go off that. And to just have to... Whether it be limitless space or whether it'll be like, you know, some things can look so complicated on OpenRail that it's just not worth the stress of you zooming in to actually, you know, really have a look at it. So if we pop this here, sometimes it's just not worth the stress. It isn't. It really isn't. And then we're going to do that there. And I'm assuming that doesn't matter. We can do this. We can put this. This is the wrong way around. For example, this, because of the space we've made ourselves, which has been shocking. I'm assuming. So there's another bit here, but there's another set of tracks here that this connects to up here. But it's got some of the sheds and things on it. So I'm going to leave that for now because I want to add those sheds in sort of detail in the episode. We've got some different sheds up there, some old sheds, different bit of railway works and things up there that I want to do. So I'm going to leave that kind of quiet-ish. But what I want to do is because I want to use them. Because I want to use them, I want to leave these kind of like that as well. I mean, one of them carries on. This one sort of carries on to the next sort of area if we do that. But this one here, I'm going to assume I might put a little end on this. So I might shrink this up again because I want to use them, and my trains are kind of going to be longer than what they are. I might just, why can't I put that in there? Build anyway. There we go. Yeah, I want to put that in there. So it's kind of a little bit different because I want to be able to turn some trains back on this because I can't use this unless they use this. So they can come in here, use that back and get that used as well. And then this other small sort of railway here. So what I might do with this to make it look a bit active is I might use some different locomotives just running on this area and moving some things around maybe just to make it look a little bit more fun. And like it's doing something, like I haven't built a load of railway just for nothing. So I'm going to put another picture on. So yeah, so basically we have some more here. We've got some more sidings here. I want to leave that curvature there because I would need to leave it because I want to put this sort of detailing in. And then we have some more different buildings here, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. It's literally a spaghetti junction of little Bicester Military Railway here. I'll put a picture up as well, just so you can see it. Just so you can see an idea. And then basically, we've got some other bits up here. And this railway will come back to this one, I believe. And we'll have a nice loop going round. And then we'll fill the area. So that's basically, in essence, what will happen in the end. Is that'll all get filled. And then we'll have some different bits and bobs in there. It's quite crazy. I'm not going to lie. That was quite hard. That was harder than I thought it was going to be. I just had a little yawn there in the middle of doing that. That was harder than I thought it was going to be. But we do have, so like if I were to, I think I've got them on here. Oh, have I not saved them? Yeah, so we've got these little buildings that I can stick on the ends of these. Yeah, and they look quite cool, I think. Like, so there's like a building sort of here that we could have. I mean, yeah, so if it's kind of, it goes up a couple of railways, but if I just kind of did this, yeah, and then another one here, and then extended this out to about there. A little bit further, maybe. And then we could add, yeah, we could add this old boy. It's good. I mean, it's not even that type of building. You get my drift. Maybe even that one will look better, actually. No, because it's got a big gap in the middle. So maybe we do good plastered with that. And then just, yeah, I mean, there we go, you know. We can stick that in. Get the track there coming. Ugh, that's weird, isn't it? So they're not spaced the same. Okay. You get my drift anyway, guys. You get my drift. That's really odd. I never realized that before. So we know I'll just have to do that. Maybe that looks quite nice. Do that. And then there's a switch where that part's there. And then we'll do the rest of the sort of sidings. And there's also another railway that comes sort of out here. But yeah, so you get that. So we'll fill it in with that sort of stuff there. That comes in, that sort of comes down and connects to that piece. That piece over there. But we need to put some more sidings, or maybe some mini sidings in there as well, just so every bit of track gets used. But it will look really good, I think, once it's finished. I was actually thinking, oh, I've got to do this. There's so many. You think you're moving on, and you think you can crack on with some detailing. Then you have another look at the map, and then you think you're done, you're nearly done, and then you spot something else. And I thought this was quite small. You know, I think it's the last episode or episode before. I thought this was quite small when we first did Bicester. We first did the junction. So I thought, well, that's a nothingness. I could just pop that in and, you know, make it look nice. But there's actually quite a lot to this. And there's quite a lot of junctions in this. So, I mean, it's created another episode that I really could have done without because, these, you know, this series is really cracking on to be something wild. Like, I never thought it'd be this mad, but it is. But, I mean, you know, content, I guess. But it has, you know, dragged a little bit. And we're trying to get it done, but, you know, try and get it done for 2026, you know? So we could, like, you know, maybe move on with our lives. I mean, we are doing a bit of Train Sim World now, I guess, as well, which is quite nice. But you know what I mean. You know, it's dragging on a little bit now. Somebody asked me on TikTok, have you got a download for this map? I said, yeah, there's a June 2025 update on there. So they're looking at that, I guess, right now. I wonder if they are. I'm not sure. I haven't checked TikTok. Anyway. Wow. I just natter. This is Bicester military thing. Military railway. Depot sidings thing. Yeah. So I reckon what we'll end up doing with this is we'll maybe have a little mixture. I'll have a look. I'll have a little read into it. But maybe we'll mix it with the little bit of military and maybe use it as a freight service for Bicester itself as well. You know, we'll get some trains on because we do have this does at some point can have access to a lot of the freight. My God. Wow. I was holding in a massive yawn then. Anyway, it does have access to some of the freight. So that's pretty decent. So yeah, so that's that. We'll zoom out. So it's getting, you know, it's looking good. We're coming out. We're getting all this filled out. This is nice. There's another bit here I need to do somewhere that sticks out here as well. I think it's like a quarry or something. I'm not really sure. But it's getting there. So what I'll do is I'll come back and what I might do now... I've still got to do that Piccadilly thing. I'm never going to get that done, am I, down there? It's just crazy because I keep getting carried away. So what I might do now is I'm probably going to finish this. I'm either going to... Oxford as well. I might leave this... do Oxford, do a cab ride to Oxford, come back, do this, and maybe do a freight to this or something. Although, how do they... Oh, yeah, they come in there. Yeah. Yeah, so I might do a freight to this or something at some point. So that's probably what I'll do, is I'm basically going to do this. I'm going to... Big circle. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to finish all this and get it done. So then we got some more railway going on. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Of course, members will get this early, and it'll be a members-only video for approximately a week. Now, things are going to be quite strange for the next couple of weeks because I'm away for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to try and drop some videos in to keep it ticking over. Mainly Toolbox and maybe UK Inspired Rail Network. Just keep you ticking over. I'm trying my best to actually just... get ahead of myself and stack up some videos for you right now. So that's what I'm kind of doing with all the time I've got. So that's probably what will happen, and you probably won't even notice. But I am away for a couple of weeks anyway. So that was probably maybe might happen. Yes, probably. I'll do what I can, and what arrives will arrive. Thank you very much for all your support, though, especially you guys members. Thank you very much. If you're not in Discord already, Discord link will be in the description below. Feel free to join. Big community growing in there. You're amazing. Thank you, guys. It's really nice to get to know you and chat to you and all that jazz. You know what it is. Yes, thank you. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.